Hello, humans. I've I have a dog with a whining problem today. He is not stopped. It doesn't matter how many walks we go on. It does not matter how many treats we are given. Buddy, hey girl, hey Leslie. It does not matter how many snuggles. The quantity of snuggles according to Buddy is not too damn high. It is too damn insufficient. There's a hello from Popomo. There is a high quantity of the sadness from the Buddy dog today, no matter what. So you're going to see a lot of whine or hear a lot of whining and see a lot of puppy snuggles to get him down a little. Anyways, so that's what's happening here. Just a very whiny dog for no good reason. Anyway, so I filmed. I did some the annual needed to do a day of filming for a season of television for the Weather Channel on today. Let me just get the caption down because I feel like it's taking up an outsized amount of the screen. So I appreciate you guys giving me, not that you guys have a choice and telling me you must be on the the screen, but thanks for understanding on Sunday when I'm like I need a nap. I have to get shit done on Sunday so that I could get have some time to get ready for some filming. And it's just I did not realize how tiring filming was going to be for just for a day. But it didn't. Didn't remember it being this exhausting last year, and then I realized when I got home why I was so tired. It was fucking cold in there. So there are a couple like little fun quirks about filming in a COVID environment. Like I know there are obviously TV shows that have budgets. It's Steve Patterson. Awesome wig is awesome. I was digging the light pink and the light blue combo. I wanted this. Ryan Blackhawk just asked, how did you land that gig? Literally, they just emailed me. Sometimes you just get an email saying, hey, come be on our TV show. That's a thing that happens when you're an internet science personality. Sometimes they're like, I think they were just like, can we find ourselves a chemist who can talk? We need a geologist, we need a meteorologist, we need all the ologists, and I was the chemist they happened to land on. So it was interesting. So last year, and like last year we had panels. If you watch, Tammy said, I love your hair. I love it too. It's y'all just in the event that y'all are dying to see me in a different color of hair. I think there are still a few wigs left on my Amazon wish list, and these have all been sent to me off of the wish list. Link is below. There's a rumor that I believe on Sunday I'm probably gonna be wearing a Sailor Moon costume, including the whole long wig, and doing a tutorial with a whole themed Sailor Moon makeup. So while talking about science, we're leaning into the weird here. That's the point we're at in lockdown. It's like every single stream is going to be wigged. Look, if we can't lean into the weird at this point, when I've only left the house like 4 times since Christmas, when can we lean into the weird? When exactly can we? Kathy, holy fuck, that wig is spectacular. Right? How I couldn't not. I had to go with, look, anytime I could wear a wig that might make Gina Carano angry for reasons, I'm gonna do it. Anyway, back to, we'll talk about that later. We'll get on to topics of Twitter mobs in a moment. Anyways, but yeah, so last year when we filmed, there was like, if you watch Weird Earth, which here's the one thing about being on cable, is that if you have if you're like many, hold on a second, I'll realize I had not plugged in my computer. This could backfire on me. So I realize having being of a certain age, a lot of my audience is much like me, millennials. A lot of us don't have cable, and this show is on cable. It's on the Weather Channel. And like I've talked to the producer a few times this year, and like last time, or like last year, I hadn't really talked to the producer. I was just one of like 12. I was one of many, many talking heads on the show. And this year, they cut down a handful of people that were on the show. Like, because last year it was like, all right, let's put a bunch of science people and people who like are experts in the occult and people who are experts in folklore, and have them like, we're going to show them a thing that like we're gonna show them a clip of some random weather phenomenon and or random natural phenomenon, and they have to give a bunch of different proposals for what it could be. And at one point, like one of the guys on our panel. I was on a panel with, if you saw the show, a guy named Blake who was kind of expert in the occult, and Blake was fucking hysterical. I loved him so much. Same thing with Tim Lee, who was I believe his handle over on Twitter is scientist turned comedian. His background was in biology, and we had a fucking kick-ass time filming. It was so much fun working with them, but like. I don't have cable. I've never seen an episode of the show. So what they do is they take they gave us a bunch of clips to look at, and we were just, sitting there trying to make them funny. It's like throw as much, throw as much material as we can at the camera, and they're going to edit it down into something. So I don't know how much of what they kept. I don't know if I'm on the if I'm on the show for 4 minutes for the entire season or a decent amount of it. But this year, they're like, hey, we're cutting basically all the people who were suggesting occulty things, all the people who were like experts in folklore, and we're just keeping the science people. So I don't know how many new people they added. I don't know. So unfortunately, like I said, Blake, who was so much fun, like we've stayed friends on Facebook. He's not on this season. I'm like, no, I liked it. Anyways, but that's kind of the nature of the beast. The show changed from last year to this year, and so since they changed it, like the notes for this year were different. Like they have notes of like, here's like it's quote it's what we'd call semi-scripted reality. So there's a script that we were sent 2 days in advance, and like we got a look at each of the videos. So it's like, all right, here's a bunch of natural phenomenon to look at, and a bunch of clips of stuff happening on Earth to have a peek at, for you to look at, analyze, get some opinions on, and get some theories in your head. But of course, they give you the theories that the people scripting the show have come up with, and like you and everyone else who's reacting to it have to they've already filmed some people before they come to me, and you have to I'm responding to things they've already recorded other people saying. I'm like, they're basically recording a lot of people saying the same lines, and they're chopping from there. So it's like they gave me whole long bits of block. Like I recorded parts of voiceover. I recorded lines that were written for, hey, we want a geologist to say this, but you're a scientist, you say it too. Like, so it's just a long day of recording everyone's lines for the show, basically, and seeing what they decide to keep from who sounded like they take a bunch. It's like, hey, shoot a zillion hours of footage and just chop it up into what eventually turns into a show. So that's kind of how that works. Now here was kind of the couple downsides to filming with a skeleton crew. So last year, again, 3 people on a panel, a director and a camera guy. So the director and our camera guy last year flew in from England. I believe I like the production company is kind of like based out of it is out of the let's see to do. Someone just said, no offense, but finishing more sentences would help me understand. Hey, we don't do complete sentences here. That's just not a thing on this channel. You're gonna have to keep up. Anyways, so like so now I'm off my groove, man. What did you expect? Someone said Kitty in the background. Oliver is always in the background here. So anyway, last year, like I said, 3 people on the panel, a couple people on the thing. This year, we're filming in COVID conditions, and that, of course, cuts us down to a much more skeleton crew. And when I say skeleton crew, from what I understand, they might be trying to do some panels for filming in England, but the show is going to be coming out, I believe, end of the spring. spring. So they have to get the filming done quickly. They have to get it done under, safe conditions. So it's just me and a camera person in there. And that's rough because like there's no one else looking over, looking over like we're filming in an Airbnb that they've rented. So we have this house that has a bunch of, a bunch of decent angles from which you can film, a bunch of different sites, and they're trying to make it look like it's just a scientist sitting down in their house looking at some footage and reacting to it. And that's kind of how they filmed it last year was, you'd walk through the house, plop down, and they had a bunch of B-roll. Like after they're done filming us, after they were done filming all of the reaction scene, they would be like, all right, now we need B-roll. So can we get some footage of you walking through a house, sitting down at the computer? And then it's literally like a half an hour of them just filming me like from many different angles, typing, leaning in, squinting, and then looking shocked. Like, oh man, things catching on fires. Anyway, so just a lot of me reacting to stuff. But the worst, quote, the worst part about this year, because it was just one person, like it had to be an amount of equipment that one person could handle. So it's, like I said, one camera guy doing sound, doing lighting, doing everything. And of course, the director is directing via Skype. So they're what's what I'm looking for. They're consulting with each other via whatever the director can see remotely. And he can't, he obviously can't wander around the house and decide on things. And it's just, what he can see through the lens of what's being transmitted to him. And I wonder how much that affects what you get from the house versus what you get if the director was in the house too, if you had two people working on it. It's very, it's interesting watching how the two seasons were, how the filming of the two seasons were different. And one thing the director said whilst we were, while we were wrapping up, he's like, I really hope that this doesn't make them think, yeah, we don't have to send the director to the actual site of things anymore. We can Skype everything. Like, whew, that's suboptimal. Like, it seems like it's like we got the shots in, but I sit there wondering what else could we have gotten with the director on site? Like there's other, there are other things we could have maybe grabbed that, a second set of eyes would have seen that, it is not optimal. However, that said, being COVID times, I felt very safe knowing that the only two people in the room were me and one other person who had both been COVID tested. I, of course, had tested negative. I believe, of course, he had tested negative. And he kept his mask on the whole time. I was the only person in the room unmasked. Ryan Blackhawk. It's fun to count how many times she can interrupt herself in one sentence. It's funner for you than it is for me. Like, I wish I was capable of just going through a thought, like beginning to end, on to the next thought, beginning to end, next thought. Do you have any idea how much I wish I could just ordered thought like this? It's the reason I think that I'm an effective writer is that I have all these thoughts that kind of come out in a jumble, and then and that's the first pass of writing, and then afterwards it's like, all right, I have a lot of really good thoughts here, but they're completely out of order. Let's kind of tweak them until eventually I have some art, and that's how my writing works. It's like, all right, there's gold in here. Fortunately, I gotta polish it. So they come out in a jumble, but somewhere in there's good stuff. So I thank you for bearing with me whilst we're picking out the nuggets. So it's just, little bit of disinfectant is needed around it. So anyway, I want to know if there's a record of the number of interruptions in the course of one sentence. Like, I think I'll start talking, and I realize through the course of the sentence, it's like, oh, there are 16 other thoughts around this that I need to, and then we'll eventually get to it. So, just part of it. Anyway, so that's, so here was one other thing that I had alluded to, and I know if you're in my Discord server, by the way, if you're not on the Discord server, join the Discord server. There's a wonderful little community of crazy people, of maniacs who keep sending me hair. So the link to the Discord server is pinned to the top of the SciBabe Facebook page. Please come join. Just you'll if you haven't met the wonderful maniacs in there, you got to. Like, I'm not even kidding when I say there's like I I let this distract me from the work I should be doing because the folks in there are just so lovely and delightful. And it's nice that I didn't get the Discord, like the whole let's build a community. And then I was like, oh, these people are like, it's not just that they're there because they're like, it's nice to see everyone turn into like a community that supports each other. And I didn't expect that when I started up, when I launched the Discord server, that y'all would turn into buddies. It's like, oh, you guys, you're all so sweet. Anyway, so go join the Discord server if you're looking for some other sciencey people that are, that abide by the don't be a dick rule and are just supportive and lovely to each other. Go join Discord. If you haven't come and joined the Discord server, it's pinned to the top of my Facebook page. Go join. Anyways, so back to. I hope that was enough interruptions of one thought in the course of a sentence. So anyways, back to finishing up talking about the shoot. So I know I've mentioned about 4 times, whilst interrupting myself, that we had one guy doing lighting, doing sound, doing camera, all that good stuff. So the thing about only having one person doing all the miking and doing all the sound, you have to be really, really careful to make sure that nothing is interrupting all that sound, right? So the thing is, any little thing in a house like that, that's making a noise is going to disrupt the sound. And this guy had, like, I swear to God, if you find a veteran in doing audio engineering in Hollywood, like that person has a sense of hearing that is more sensitive than a dog that can detect a leaf rustling 4 blocks away. Like this guy, anytime there was an airplane, ages, like we sat there and like waited for for a leaf blower to stop. Like he went out and like had a conversation with someone to stop their leaf blower. Like, hey, when are you going to be done with the leaf blower? Like anything had to stop. The refrigerator at one point, like the pilot light turned on. He's like, nah, gotta unplug the refrigerator. Just everything had to turn off. So there's a reason I bring this all up. The heating system in the house. Now I get it. I live in Southern California. It's not like I live in fucking Minnesota in February during a blizzard. So, don't cry for me, Argentina. I'm obviously fine. But I was shivering half the day. Like when you watch the show, there are times when I realize I'm sitting there like wiping my nose the whole time. I'm like, oh God, please don't let this, like Chris, the cameraman's name was Chris. I'm like, please don't let Chris think that I'm sick and that's why my nose is running. But when you're cold, your nose runs. And like, I'm sitting there the entire day doing this. I'm like, I need to repowder. Thomas Bennett just asked, what's the Discord details? If you go to the top of facebook.com/SciBabe, the pinned post on the top of the page has the link to Discord, has the link to all of my things that are not the Facebook page. So please go join that. Also, there's a link to my Patreon here. And if you want to come join, there are going to be from now on, not just 1, but 2 patron only live streams every month. So please go click Patreon go click all the things below for ways that you can come join extra things and just come help me keep the side pets safe and vaccinated, all that good stuff. Anyways, back to this. So anyways, here's the thing, we turned the heat on a few times for a few minutes at a time, but one of the diffusers we were using for the light, I say we, like I had any say in this, it was him obviously, but like we had a diffuser for the light that would crinkle anytime that the heat's blowing. So we could turn it on for like a little bit while we were changing scenes over. But I was really fucking cold. Like if I'd known, I like normally when I go to a shoot of any sort, whether it's just pictures or whether it's filming, I try to bring extra sets of clothes, like, just in case they want, this color doesn't work with the background, or in case this, is a pattern that doesn't work, but for whatever reason, I forgot. I forgot to bring. I didn't bring socks. I didn't bring blankets. I didn't bring. Like I had one like heavy poncho, like one poncho that's basically a wearable blanket in my car. So you can't like. I'm basically filmed from here on up wearing another. As you guys have seen me a lot in these, I have that you guys sent me from my Amazon wish list. Thank you very much. I'm wearing my little the maroon version of this, the little kitty hoodie. So I don't know if they're going to keep this for the outtakes, but there was at one point I flip up the kitty hoodie with my little ears on it. So I hope at some point that shows up in the outtake. But yeah, I filmed an entire season of television for the Weather Channel in hair that I've cut myself for a year and in a hoodie that costs like $12 from Amazon. So whenever I hear somebody say, well, I needed a haircut to look professional, bitch, I'm on the Weather Channel and hair I cut myself. No, you don't. No, you fucking don't. You can. It's anything you can do. I can do in hair I cut myself. So just you're. I'm sure it looks like crap, but at the same time, I did not. You'll be. Oh, John, that was you that sent it to me. Thank you so much. It's like I knew that. I've mixed up who has sent me so many things. Like, but anyways, I greatly appreciated it. I wear this like I'll get kind of really attached to pieces of clothing and just wear them all the time. So like the hoodies that you guys just sent me, they're like as soon as they're out of the wash, I'm wearing them again. So like I basically live in leggings, knee socks, and tank tops and these little crop top hoodies. So just like I'm just saying if I'm just saying those are the things on my wish list that I wear all the time. Thank you, Christian, for the warm socks. They're always on my feet. Moving on. So just wanted to let you guys know that. It's like I'm for opening up the Discord server really has been a really wonderful thing for my life, and I didn't expect that, and y'all have been the type of supportive that I didn't expect that would get me through lockdown. You've been groovy. I know I say this, and I have a quick moment where I'm like, I love you guys every stream, but that was it for this stream. I love you guys. You're wonderful. So anyways, back to this. Kelly Rowska Hall just said, I think you'll look better than the blonde hair from last season. That was part of the calculation actually from that I stayed brunette because I was considering if I was going to go blonde again for this. So last year, as you guys know, if you guys keep up with this for my life, I had my hair dyed really, really blonde, and I had just done a stage performance of the Buffy musical or the Buffy musical episode in Vegas with Nikki Brendan, the original Xander. And that's a fucking story that I'll talk. Look, if you want any of the hot gossip on what it was like to work with Nikki Brendan, come join Patreon and I'll tell you all about it. He's struggling. It's really it was I when you get a certain kind of famous, no one tells you no for a long time and shit gets weird. I'll put it that way. But anyways, I went and I'd done the live stage performance of the Buffy musical episode in Vegas, which was a fuckload of fun, especially given that the world closed down like 3.5 months later. So I had that wonderful memory in my heart. But I had played the part of Willow, and I dyed my hair bright fucking red, and I needed to leach all of that out because that bright red was not something I wanted on the Weather Channel. And so my hair was brassy as fuck when we went to film, and I really didn't like it, the handful of things that I've seen from the Weather Channel. So when I was like, do I go blonde again so I matched last year? What do I I'm really glad that all of the blonde had been able to be cut out by now. I actually considered wearing one of the wigs that you guys have sent me, but I'm like, let's just make sure that my hair looks good and thick. Let's throw some of the hair powder into it. And the director thought it looked. He's like, I actually like it better than blonde. So he was kind and said, he's like, I didn't notice the brass in the hair from last year. I'm like, if you're lying to me right now, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. But yeah, that was went for the natural hair color this year. Natural hair color and hair I've cut myself for a year. So no one actually. Here's something they don't tell you. Nobody actually ever needs to cut their hair. It's kind of like the alphabet doesn't have to be in a certain order. You don't need a haircut. I say that and I like having a cut a certain length, but still it's not a need. There you go. There's a little piece of tidbit of information you might not have had before. Anyways, so scroll on it. So that was the basis. So anyways, I was freezing. We couldn't keep the heat on. They were really, really kind about it. At one point, like I don't want to say we stopped filming, but it was like, I was like, I'm shivering and I didn't get caffeine today. They're like, just stop and order a coffee, put it on the tab, send us the bill for it. I've never ordered coffee for which I have, I've never ordered Dunkin's delivery before for just a latte. Cause I'm like, I'm diva-ing this. I felt a little like a diva getting just a latte delivered. So, but that's the thing I did. So there's my day on the set is feeling like a diva for ordering a latte delivery to both warm me up and caffeinate me. But anyways, that was the day of filming. There was one other thing that was really fun. So from doing the moments of science, I've been, just diving into science history and getting all these little bits of science into my brain regularly. A couple of things from the MOS were relevant to what we were talking about, because I don't want to give away the clips that we were looking at, but because we have to come up with theories for how all of these things happen. Like we'll look at something catching fire, or there being an image in the sky, or strange lights happening, or things in the ground moving, or rock formations that don't look normal. Like there are there will be like 5 different theories, and only one of them will be real, and a couple different theories will bump into something that I've written about. And it was really neat that something had caught on fire for one of them that didn't look like a thing that should catch on fire. And one of the theories that they threw out was chlorine trifluoride, which I've written about in for the Daily MOS. If you want to catch up on that, it's in the article on SciBabe.com entitled "The Unharnessed Power of, or the Unharnessed Chlorine Trifluoride." And this stuff is just it's nutty. Like here's the neat part about having a semi-scripted TV show. They have a script, and they know they're working with a bunch of scientists, and they have and people who might have another story about it. So basically they go, hey, we have this script, go with that. But if you have something else to add to it, or if you have another story or a better story or something, or some color to add to it, go off script, do anything, add what you want to it. So you can say, they want that script covered by someone. So more than likely, it starts off, it's like, I saw part of the script start talking about fluorine and how dangerous it could be. And I'm like, oh, I just read about chlorine trifluoride. And they get down to a part saying exactly about it. I'm like, how could you leave out that they started making chlorine trifluoride to talk about the fact that how could you leave out that the Nazis made this stuff to try to make self-lighting flamethrowers? And the director looked at me like, what? And so it was fun to be able to add this in, and it was just something that I only knew because I was researching this little column daily. So it's been nice to see the fact that I have this little column that I just started as a thing to try to move what I'm doing with SciBabe in a new direction, and it's turning me into a better communicator of science in other jobs that I'm doing. It's like, oh, it's putting new information. It's not just putting new information out there for you guys. It's adding new information into my brain constantly. And it's I feel it's turned me into a better human being. Anyway, so that's the deal with that. So there's been, it's been nice doing the column and seeing the fruits of that payoff, for me mentally. So that's kind of the update. I know I've mentioned the freezing coldness of the house multiple times. It was chittery and cold, and I got home. I did not expect to be as cold or as tired as I was when I got home that night, because you sit, like I was just sitting all day, except for like the handful of time, like literally end of the day, it's just like, hey, we need to film you walking to the thing and sitting down to type a couple times. Okay, like that's literally the most action it was. Otherwise you're sitting, but when you're kind of trying to, shivering and also trying to not shiver for a lot of day, oh my God, I didn't realize how tiring being cold for that much of the day was going to be. So I was very tired when I got home. I was kind of wiped up the next day. So I appreciate you guys giving me a few days to chill out. I'm going to eventually try to sneak in an extra bonus moment of science, because I'm trying to have 365 of them written by the end of the year. But eventually I'll get it in to try to get the total up to what I want for a year of them. So that's where I think that basically sums it all up. If you guys have any questions about filming, I'll see what I can answer. I'm trying not to, give away any of the plot points. Like they weren't like, hey, there's an airtight confidentiality. They can't tell anyone what happened here. But tune in for the show to find out what wacky things happens on planet Earth. I was surprised to hear the clips that they used were, I think, better than last year. The scripts they gave us were better. Everything about, at least from my point of view of someone who's, on the show and giving commentary, and from someone who, wants to be entertained by good science, I thought everything that they put into it was better. It was improved this year. I would I would rather watch what they what they gave us to work with this year than what they gave us to work with last year. So I'm hoping that people tune in, tell their friends about it. I just this is just saying. You mean you didn't parkour across the apartment? I'm disappointed. Michael, it was a house. This is, I just want to let you know, when people are like, this is, when people picture things being recorded in like big studios, that's not what's happening anymore. Things are recorded in rented Airbnbs in North Hollywood. It's not Hollywood. It's houses being rented in Glendale and Pasadena and NoHo. That's how this all goes. This is all very different than I pictured when I moved out here for a job as a chemist. I'm occasionally just, recording a TV show as one of many talking heads in North Hollywood. And I didn't expect Mom to arrive in midday on a Mom has entered the chat. She's just, look, I'm just saying, it doesn't move across the country, start a job as a science cam girl, put on a pink wig, your mother will still show up. So that's where we are. Anyways, so yeah, that's I think that about sums up all the stuff from filming. I'm not just saying that because my mom entered the chat, because of course I'm going to tell her everything that she wants to. Mom, do you have any questions about how filming went? Like, it's anything you want to know? Because this is the dream that you stood by for all those many years, when people were like, why is she double majoring in chemistry and theater? Seems weird. Did something happen? Was it a weird youth? Ian Baldrick Johnstone Jowett, I apologize if I mispronounced your name. Just said, I work for a few film production companies. Long days and very boring, not bad money. Yeah, it's like it is far less glamorous, I think, than people expect. It's just a lot of like, the worst is that, like, whenever I see people flubbing lines, or a video of people flubbing lines, I think that there might be a thought in the back of someone's head who's never acted, that, oh, if I was on there, I wouldn't flub us. I would get through everything. You have no idea how many times you're going to say a line that seems like there should be no good reason why you'll fuck it up. And you're going to fuck it up over and over and over. Like, there are lines that I must have said 7 times until I finally just got the thing right. And I'm like, why am I adding, like, it's like an extra sound would come in there. Like, I'd say a D instead of a T for a, like, I'd get half the line right. It's like, oh, finally, I got over that part of the line I was saying wrong. Next word, I'd say so. And I think part of it was that I was so cold at some point. My mouth was like, but yeah, just little bits of the day that were difficult from it being cold in there. But like I said, I know I sound like I'm complaining about that a lot, because I am, but it's my only complaint about that. Like, it's my this is my dream job. Like, I went to school joking that we already had Bill Nye the Science Guy. We needed Yvette the Science Dudette, and here I am many a moon later, and I basically have what I like. I'm foot in the door on the job I wanted. So, like, if you had told me when I was in high school, yeah, you're gonna this is gonna be what you're doing, I'd be like, so am I making as much money as I want? They'd be like, nah, but you're still pretty happy at it. I'd be like, okay, this is cool. So, like, I figure eventually money will come, but for now, it's like, and I've had, like, while the world is open and I'm able to go out and do talks, the money is pretty good. But this is pretty cool, and I'm quite happy with this. I don't BTW, like, I wasn't unpaid for I was paid for the shoot. It's just, yeah, I think when people see that you're on a season of a TV show, they think, oh, you get paid by the episode, or you like, I got paid for, I just want to be clear, and I'm not complaining about this. I'm not, it's like, don't cry for me, Argentina. Take a drink. I'm just, I got paid for a day of work, which is what I did, which is totally fine. Like, it's not a high budget show. It's not, and I'm one of many, many people who comes on and they take clips from that day of work that I did. But I got paid for a day of work, not for a season of being a TV star, which I'm a TV star in the sense that American cheese is cheese. Like, we don't know where the line is between one or the other, but they kind of belong on the same shelf, but they really, really kind of don't. So just want to clarify that for you. So, but if we want to make me a TV star, just quit. Just keep tweeting. Just power tweet at Jon Favreau, the director Jon Favreau, that I should be replacing Gina Carano as Cara Dune, and we'll get there one day. Then I can be a real star. Then I can be a Netflix star. I mean, just who do we want playing Cara Dune? Really? Like, I have the low voice. We're the same height. I very definitely the same chin for sure, and minus all the conspiracy theories, transphobia, and general awfulness. I don't think that the Capitol should have been insurrected on January 6th. I'm just saying this could have all worked. I'm just saying. Just saying, tweet that shit at Jon Favreau. Let him know I'd be a really good Cara Dune. So I say this half jokingly. So I've scrolled through it. I see some jokes about science-based porn. So I know some of you guys know, some of you guys don't. I haven't like made quote an announcement, but I've left my podcast. I just want to, put it. I'm going to be really brief about this. Nothing quote went wrong. I'm so fucking busy with the amount of writing I'm doing, trying to convert some of it to video. Again, occasionally being on the Weather Channel and all that kind of stuff, that it just wasn't a fit with what I was doing anymore. And I just saw the joke about about doing directing science-based porn. Like, I had things keep showing up in my memories from doing the podcast, and it's like, man, we had so much fun doing it. But at some point, when you're really, really busy all the time, something's got to give. And unfortunately, it was that. So, but you know what? If you've enjoyed the podcast, I'm sure I don't know what Alice's plans are for it, but if you've enjoyed TGOM, keep following it. She's going to do an amazing job with it. So don't leave on account of me leaving. There's a really great thing built up there. It's still going to be a really cool show. But it's not where I'm at anymore, because at some point you only got so many hours in the day. I've been so exhausted from trying to balance everything. It's just, sometimes you got to move on to when you've got when you're in a crunch, you have to do some math, and that was where I had to make a cut, and it sucks. It sucks, but that's life. But like I said, if you've loved the show, we've met over the last couple of years, we've met so many comics and porn stars who also do comedy, that I'm sure Alice is going to find an amazing co-host. And I mean, she already has a couple people that she rotates through on days when I couldn't do it before. So it's like I said, I'm gone, the show will go on. So it's going to be delightful. So, but I'm still here. So if like I said, if you like the two of them, I'm not saying come here with me away from it. I'm saying just, you can keep watching both. It's just life changes. That's part of how it is. Thank you, Akiko. I see you. So let's see. Someone said, how do you make science-based porn? With a 55-gallon drum of lube. That way you can watch fluid dynamic physics whilst watching porn. Julian Bordas just asked, how long was your lockdown? I'm still in lockdown. Like I've been, like I said, I've been in a room with my mask off like twice in the past, with people that are not my household members. I believe twice in the last many, many, many moons. Once was for a doctor's appointment, and once was to film. And also I had to take off my mask for obviously a nasopharyngeal swab. Oh, I had my first nasopharyngeal swab, the brain swab, in order to film. And here's the thing, they swabbed it in the side of my head that gets headaches. And my nostril can kind of feel like it's burning when my headache flares up. And I don't know if it's just that side of my face always hurts or what, but I thought that like she hadn't pushed it far enough up or something. I'm like, oh, this wasn't a brain swab. It was just an intranasal. She's like, she showed me how far it was pushed up, and it was like, really, I'm like, oh, maybe I'm just always in pain in that nostril. So that just didn't hurt. It was just not going to hurt me. But all I'm saying is guys, if you want to make sure that those brain swabs never hurt you again, get yourself a permanent headache on one side of your head. Brain swabs won't hurt at all. You'll be fine. It's totally fine. So I was really surprised at the lack of pain. Really, really surprised at the lack of pain. From the nasopharyngeal swab. But again, like when your base level is like somewhere between like a 3 and a 7, just when you don't have a day that's below a 3, it gonna be bad. Anyways, so that was like I said, it was gonna be a kind of short. Mental dermatologist said I had the swab and had a headache for a day and a half. I'm just saying, I've had one since 2010. Highly suggest never getting yourself a facial nerve headache. It'll fuck up your life. Like my life has not been back to, like, it's better now that I'm on a regimen of meds, a group of medications that seem to keep it to a functional point. But yeah, you get yourself a facial nerve that shits the bed on you, life never really goes back to normal. It's rough. Like, because I can deal with days when my back pain is off or when a rib pops out, but when you've just got pain in your face, it's hard to sidestep and get back to your life. Anyways, so this has been another production of Cybabe Enterprises. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go do some. I haven't written the daily moment of science for today, and I want to go do that. It's gonna be a kind of short one. It's been a day. Sometimes shit happens, but it's gonna go and do. Gonna go do the writing. I see Bruce Jackson saying, "Weird coincidence, you mentioning Buffy with the announcement about Charisma Carpenter today." I'm just gonna say I'm not surprised about that announcement at all. I think like I'm not I think anyone who has heard anything about that show and been honest with themselves about who Joss Whedon was is not at all surprised about Charisma Carpenter coming forward about his brand of douchebaggery. So that's yeah, I completely support her in coming forward about this, and it's been well known, kind of whispered for a while, that that's what he did to her. So of course I stand up Charisma Carpenter. Like, everyone knew. Everyone knew. So it's Joss Whedon's probably going to try to deny it, because of course he is. Like, and the disgusting part about this, and I see this from some people trying to defend him, Joss, because we've all enjoyed a lot of his work over a long period of time. The thing I keep seeing being used is, well, a lot of directors are like that. A lot of directors didn't use their cred as a feminist to win awards for being a good feminist, or be he was. He was exalted as this good feminist director, as this person who was writing strong female characters, and he gave that long speech, right? He keeps leaning into the mic dramatically. Why do you keep writing strong female characters? Because you keep asking me that question. Oh, good feminist, Joss Whedon. I'm just saying, if you're a good feminist, Joss Whedon, then maybe you won't call an actress fat when she's 126 pounds and 4 months pregnant. It just seems like a lot of fuckery went on. And look, it's not up for me to say what someone's mental state is from meeting them and spending a few days with them. But and I get it, being a teen actor or a young actor, and the type of fame and adulation that comes with it can fuck up anyone. But look, I spent nearly a week crashing in the same house as Nikki Brendan, who played Xander. He still needs help. So I'm not surprised that anyone who worked with him was put up to being berated and didn't have a great experience working with them. I'm just saying. So there be my thoughts on the on the Joss Whedon thing. So anyways, I'm gonna call it a day. Gotta go do some writing for you guys. I love you all, and of course I will see you on Friday. As usual, you guys know my usual please. Please keep your mask on. Right now the CDC is recommending people double. Oh, pardon me. Apparently, fizzy water can make one belch. Who knew? So, anyways, as usual, I'm gonna ask you guys, mask up. The CDC is recommending double masking right now because things are so fucked. So please double mask if you at all can. If you can get your hands on some N95s or KN95s, please do so and put a cloth mask over it to try to keep that KN95 preserved and keep it clean. So please double mask. Please wash your hands. Please don't be around humans indoors if at all possible. I love you. Mrs. Auntie Cybabe wants you guys all to stay safe. Hold on 1 second. And of course, I could not go without a screen lick. Like, who would I be? Who would we all be without at least one lick of the screen? We all need to try. Anyways, I love you. I will see you guys on Friday. And of course, if you want, if you need to see me before then, there's the Discord server. If you absolutely, positively need more of me in your life, which I know you do. You're here. You need it. There's now not one, but two extra monthly live streams. One for brainstorming for the daily column on the 15th of every month, and one the last Saturday of every month. And that one's just, we goof off, we do patriotic prank calling of our senators, and along with some prank calling, we also do one we do one monthly call to our senators and congressmen, just tell one of them that they're doing a good job. So anyways, come join us on Patreon, or if you want to leave a one-time donation, there's a link to my PayPal below, or if you want to send me candy or a wig or an air fryer, there's a link to my Amazon wishlist. Anyways, I love you guys. Please join Isabel Gallagher. I don't know what bug is up your ass, but I'll be banning you later because you just seem to be in a bad mood, and I don't have time for that shit in my life. So just go away. Anyways, I love you guys, and I will see you next week. Jeez, I will see you on Friday.